Hello, and welcome to our latest video about poverty. Today, we'll be taking a brief dive into the dynamics between poverty and ethnic groups. This is Vision for Life. In Canada, it's estimated that 1 in 5 racialized families lives in poverty, as opposed to 1 in 20 non-racialized families. This statistic alone gives us an idea of the relationship between ethnicity and poverty. Let's dive a bit deeper. People from diverse ethnic origins face distinct disadvantages. Poverty is greater in all Black and minority ethnic groups than in the majority white population. Men and women from some ethnic groups are paid less on average than those with equivalent experience from other ethnic groups. How does this actually happen? Do the majority of people from minority groups enter the workforce through low-paying jobs, or do they receive lower pay regardless of what occupations they enter? Out of pre-existing well-paying occupations, what proportion of them are represented by ethnic minority groups? While we won't discuss all of these ideas in today's video, these are some of the questions we'd like you to keep in mind while we continue to provide you with some perspective into this complex relationship. Now, to continue, we'll be looking at a report published by the Institute for Social and Economic Research in the UK. In this paper, the authors looked at the effect of occupation on poverty among ethnic minority groups. Among the interesting findings they uncovered were the following. Because minorities were, on average, well-educated, inadequate education was not the primary driver of wage disparity or poverty. The results of ethnic groups are quite diverse. Some minority groups, particularly women, do better than the majority group. And ethnic minority groups are more likely to work in low-paying jobs than they are to receive low pay in all occupations in general. These findings highlight the difficulty that some ethnic groups can face in having access to higher-paying jobs. If education levels aren't a deterring factor, then it could be that some jobs simply marginalize employees based on their ethnicity. For instance, the report itself found that occupations in which employees from ethnic minority groups are paid less well and are also underrepresented include metal workers and chemical operatives, jobs in printing, jobs in building, plant and machine operatives, and jobs in security and protective services. However, these findings also bring up a fair counterpoint that can be made in addressing poverty and ethnicity. It can sometimes be misleading, if not unfair, to discuss issues relating to minority ethnic groups as a whole. While some large-scale generalizations can be made about minority groups, there are enormous variations between them and within them. It's important to take into account other factors such as day-to-day living standards and social structures of different ethnic groups. This is where your role as a viewer comes into play. We've peppered you with a few questions and left you with some food for thought. What can you do to help reduce the prevalence of prejudice and discrimination in your community? It's true that poverty is an income-driven problem. However, in the case of ethnic discrimination, its roots are based in perception, the perception of others, and the perception of ourselves in relation to others. So, what do? You learn more about other cultures and ethnicities around you. We are a community composed of rich and diverse cultures. No matter how much of a minority an ethnic group is, it exists and it matters.